Welcome to Outabounds Ski and Board. Today we're happy to have Smith Optics' Jamie Sewell to tell us the features and technology of Smith goggles for protecting your eyes from sun and snow while skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah, so I'm Jamie. I'm your rep for Smith. I took over for Simbo. We're gonna start out talking about Chromo Pop. So Chromo Pop is our light enhancement technology. So as far as the stuff that you guys have, this will pertain to any goggles that you have in the Squad series. So it will not pertain to the juniors goggles, and it will not pertain to the Raleigh, the Reason, the Blazer, any of those kind of like more entry-level goggles. So what it is our light enhancement technology. So I think important when you're talking sunglasses or goggles, every brand out there has some form of light enhancement, color filtration, whatever you want to call it. I think it's important to remember that the end goal for all of us is the same. So we're all trying to get heightened clarity, heightened color, and heightened definition. How we all go about it, slightly different. But Chromo Pop will be unique to Smith. So we are the only company that does it this particular way. So with that, I think this is a great infographic to kind of look at and understand how Chromo Pop works. So essentially what we do is we look at the visible light spectrum and the colors that we as humans can see. So there are three main colors that make up the vast majority of everything that we're seeing. Those are blue, green, and red. So when talking about the visible light spectrum, you can kind of see in this graphic where those colors cross each other. So where blue crosses green and where green crosses red, you get some kind of blurring or what's called color confusion. And that's where your eyes can't quite distinguish between those three colors. So what we do with Chromo Pop is we take two different filters and we put them on the light spectrum where that color confusion happens. So we put one between blue and green, and we put one between green and red. By doing that, we separate out those three primary colors. So you're gonna get really heightened blue, really heightened green, and really heightened red. When we're talking lenses, we have 4 different categories of lenses as far as Chromo Pop lenses go. So we're gonna have sun, everyday, storm, and photochromic. When we're talking about these, we will use a term called VLT. VLT, anyone know what that stands for?
Variable light transmission.
Variable light transmission, visible light transmission. Everyone interchanges those words. Same thing. Basically, it is the amount of light that a lens will let in. So if we have a lens that's 80% VLT, is that light or dark? Light, super light, right? Because it's letting in 80% of light. So when we're talking these different categories of lenses, I'll give you a VLT range on each one. So when we talk about sun lenses, what do we think those are for? Sun, right? Yeah. So a bright sunny day. We talk every day. What do we think those are for? Right, variable conditions. Honestly, most days in Colorado, an everyday lens is going to be prime. Storm. See where I'm going with this? Yeah, right? So we're trying to keep this easy for you guys. So sun lenses are really dark. They're gonna fall in the like 9 to 14% VLT. Every day are gonna be a little more variable. So you're probably looking at like 15 to 25%. Your storm lenses are gonna be those really, really light ones. So we're probably looking at like 50 to 80%. So super light lenses. On this also, so with all of our high-end goggles, we also write this on the lens itself. So right here on the bottom right-hand side, we put what frame it is. We put whether or not it has Chromo Pop. Helpful for you guys. So obviously some of these kind of more entry-level goggles will not say that. That means they don't have Chromo Pop. And then next to where it says Chromo Pop in tiny little letters, it'll either say SN for sun, EV for everyday, or ST for storm. So photochromic is something that we as a company have been doing for quite some time. But in the last, call it like 4 or 5 years, we started to hear some negative feedback on photochromic lenses. So last year we introduced a collection called the Photochromic Pro. And so these are photochromic lenses that we re-engineered to change quicker, to work specifically better in colder temperatures. And then we also added the cool factor. So we did a blue mirror, a red mirror, and a gold mirror. So we got some kind of fun options. Typically in the past, spherical lenses were considered to be the most optically correct because they were the same shape as your eye. Modern day, we live in 2025. All the major goggle manufacturers out there now do what's called tapered lenses. So at the optical center where your eye looks out, the lens is going to be slightly thinner. It will get slightly thicker as it goes around, creating that spherical shape and cutting down on any distortion you otherwise would see. So really, there's not one that is necessarily more optically correct. It's more style than anything. I think a lot more people kind of go for cylindrical style these days. So we do an anti-fog that's really unique. So again, in our high-end goggles, our anti-fog is called 5 times anti-fog. Any idea why?
5 times better than everything.
Exactly. So it's 5 times better than the industry standard. So again, going back to the sun, the storm, the everyday, we're trying to keep this really easy for you guys. We know you have a ton of things in here. So even in the naming, we're trying to keep it very simplistic. So how our anti-fog works is a little different than most goggles out there. So most goggles, you're gonna have a film that's vacuum sealed on the inside of the lens. So you have to be really careful about wiping them or cleaning them because it will wipe off or fade over time. So ours is what's called a hydrophilic infusion. So what that means is that it is part of the lens material before the lens is even poured into that mold. So before it becomes a lens, it is ingrained in there. The benefit, it's never gonna wipe off, it's never gonna fade away. So technically, you can wipe the inside of your lenses. You can clean them with soap and water. We don't really recommend telling customers to do that because your average customer is gonna come in and they're gonna clean it with their jeans or their dog or their steeple. So it's not gonna go well with that soft inner lens. The other thing that we do with our anti-fog that's very unique is we also do micro-etched vertical channels in our lenses. So those allow the air to escape up and outward, which is kind of where our helmets come into play. Every Smith helmet is gonna have these vents right here. That is to allow that air to come up and out the goggles and then up and out the helmet. We call that our ultimate integration. Other features of goggles, so they all have full UV protection, so UVA, UVB, UVC, 100% there. They are all impact resistant. They're not safety rated, but they do have impact protection. They all have scratch resistant coatings on them as well. Again, nothing is scratch proof, but it will help. They have hydrophobic and oleophobic coatings, so these will repel water and moisture. And then we do have silicone on the straps as well, so that'll keep them in place when you put them over your helmet. Really easy to adjust to. Just pull both of these, pull them back to open them. And then we have a triple layer face foam as well. So this layer closest to your face will have a really soft moisture wicking fleece. So I think it's absolutely something rad to be able to tell customers that we do manufacture all our goggles in Clearfield, Utah. For our manufacturing facility, which is in Clearfield, Utah, and we actually make all of our goggles there. So they are all made in the US, which is really, really cool. The first thing I'll say is do not be soft with it. They are very durable. You gotta kind of take them out. So you'll rip that top piece off first, side by side, all the way around. And then the side pieces are really what kind of trip people up, is there's these little hooks in there. So when you put it back in, you want to get that nose piece in first and line up those bottom 2 pieces. And then you'll get this bottom clip on. And then you'll kind of be able to pull it back and slide it in there. Do you see how that happened? So you'll kind of pull it back, get that bottom piece, and then you'll be able to pull it back and slide that top piece in there. And then you'll just go around, do it like this, and get those other clips in there. Yeah. So the reason will be our over-the-glasses goggle that you guys have in stock. So what that means is it just has these little indentations on the side so that you won't get a headache if you're wearing it over your glasses. So it'll fit there a little more snugly. And then this one also has our quick clip, which is really nice. So there's a clip, you take it off, you put it on around your helmet, probably not upside down, but you know, however you want. And then you'll be able to clip that back in. So what that does is it allows the strap to not wear down over time. You get a little bit more life out of that. And then you guys also have Rally. So Rally is a newer goggle for us. I think we released this last season or the season before, but this is a really good mid price point, little bit smaller fit. So you could look at this as like that, maybe smaller female fit or teenage kind of style, but really fun colors. This is one of our newer colors for this season too. As far as goggle to helmet compatibility, so we are a goggle and helmet brand. We make goggles, we make helmets. They go great together. But that being said, we also talk to all the other major goggle and helmet manufacturers out there. And basically there is an angle on the top of the goggles and there's an angle on the top of the helmets. We try to make sure that along with the other manufacturers, we keep that same angle for the most part. So they should fit really nicely with other helmets as well. But obviously, Smith is always going to fit the best with Smith.